They told you Aquarius was distant, detached, impossible to understand. They told you their silence was cold, their rebellion reckless, their mind somewhere else entirely. But they never told you the truth, that behind those calm eyes are 15 secrets so powerful they could shatter the way you see them forever. Secrets of loneliness hidden in laughter, secrets of love wrapped in defiance, secrets of prophecy disguised as silence. Aquarius has lived with these truths, in the shadows, never revealing them, until now. Type, "I am ready" in the comments, if your spirit is prepared to hear the revelations. And so it begins. Aquarius carries a mask so convincing that even those closest to them rarely see behind it. They move through life wrapped in the aura of independence, a self-sufficient figure who seems to need no one. But here is the first shocking revelation. Their independence is not always freedom, it is armor. Beneath it hides a deep loneliness they will never confess out loud. They were taught early that vulnerability could be exploited, that the moment they reached out for help, the world would turn away. So they built the myth of being untouchable. Yet if you look closely, if you sit in their silence, you can feel it, the quiet ache of a soul that longs to be held but refuses to ask. This is the first secret: they hide loneliness behind independence. And in doing so, they protect themselves, but they also keep love at a distance. The second secret is even more paradoxical. Aquarius has a boundless love for humanity. They believe in justice, fairness, equality, and the possibility of a better world. They will fight tirelessly for strangers, raise their voice for communities they do not belong to, and sacrifice their comfort for causes that move their spirit. But here is the contradiction. While they love humanity, they often struggle with people. One-on-one connections can feel messy, demanding, filled with unspoken expectations. They can't always reconcile their universal love with the personal wounds of trust and betrayal. And so they keep themselves slightly apart, devoted to the whole, but wary of the parts. And then comes the third secret. Their silence is never empty. When Aquarius goes quiet, the world often mistakes it for indifference. Friends wonder why they disappeared. Lovers feel abandoned. But the truth is far more profound. In silence, Aquarius is watching, measuring, studying every detail with unshakable clarity. Their silence is a mirror showing who truly cares enough to reach in, and who vanishes when the noise is gone. Their silence is not retreat, it is prophecy. For they know that words once spoken cannot be taken back, but silence has the power to expose everything. These first three secrets mark the beginning of revelation. They explain why Aquarius seems distant yet caring, why they are loved yet misunderstood, why they appear aloof when in fact they are burning with unseen intensity. And once these truths emerge, it becomes impossible to look at them the same way again. But here's the unspoken danger. Aquarius's silence does not just protect them from harm, it also prepares them for a role larger than anyone realizes. And the moment will come when that silence breaks open, and the world will be forced to listen. The shocking part, that moment is closer than anyone thinks. Every Aquarius goes through a hidden season of life, one they rarely speak of, even to their closest allies. It is the season where betrayal left scars too deep to heal quickly, where trust was shattered in silence, and where their heart learned to forgive, but not to forget. This is the fourth secret. Aquarius forgives, but they never forget. They will let go of the anger. They will move on as if nothing happened. They will smile, laugh, and act as though the wound has closed. But deep in the archives of their memory, every slight, every betrayal, every false promise is carefully stored, not to use against you, but as a map of where not to step again. And when you least expect it, that memory will guide their choices. You may think Aquarius has forgotten, but their spirit never erases. From this arises the fifth secret: they rebel because they care. Many misunderstand their defiance as arrogance, coldness, or stubborn pride. But rebellion is their love language to the world. When Aquarius stands against hypocrisy, corruption, or injustice, It is not because they enjoy conflict. It is because they cannot stand by and watch harm unfold. Their refusal to conform is not a hunger for attention. It is a declaration of principle. They are the lightning strike against the storm of mediocrity, the voice that says enough when the world has grown numb. And yet behind that rebellion lies the sixth secret: they see the future before others do. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the awakener, and Saturn, the architect of time. These dual forces give them a rare vision, an ability to anticipate trends, sense shifts, and feel the tremors of change long before they arrive. This gift is both a blessing and a burden. They know what is coming, yet they must live among those who cannot yet see it. Their ideas are dismissed as radical, their warnings ignored, their dreams mocked, until the day arrives when the world finally catches up. And by then, Aquarius has already moved on far ahead, carrying another vision still unrecognized. This hidden season is where Aquarius learns endurance. It is where they realize that being ahead of their time feels like punishment, but is actually preparation. It is where their forgiveness sharpens their intuition, where their rebellion refines their character, where their vision becomes undeniable. But there is something else buried in this season, something even more powerful. For while Aquarius is carrying their silent archives of betrayal, their principled defiance, and their futuristic sight, the cosmos itself is moving around them. Saturn, shaping Uranus, disrupting destiny, weaving threads they cannot yet see. The world thinks Aquarius is simply detached, rebellious, strange. But in truth, they are being tempered like steel in fire. Their silence is not just memory. Their rebellion is not just anger. Their vision is not just imagination. It is preparation. And when the cosmic moment arrives, everything hidden will be forced into the light. The question is not if. The question is when. To understand Aquarius, you must understand the sky that birthed them. Their soul is ruled by two planets, pulling in opposite directions: Saturn, the ancient keeper of time, and Uranus, the rebel awakener. Saturn demands discipline, order, patience. Uranus demands disruption, rebellion, sudden change. And Aquarius is the living paradox between the two. They are the bridge between tradition and revolution, between structure and freedom, between what has been and what must come. This paradox fuels the seventh secret: they feel everything more deeply than they admit. The world often mistakes Aquarius for being robotic, analytical, detached. But that image is a mask, an illusion, woven by Saturn's stoicism. Beneath it, Uranus electrifies their heart with storms of emotion, love that feels cosmic, sorrow that feels infinite, joy that feels like lightning. They don't always know how to express these feelings in the moment. Instead, they bury them, letting intellect cover what emotion threatens to overwhelm. But make no mistake, they feel more than they will ever confess. And here lies the eighth secret: they test loyalty in silence. Aquarius will not always ask, "Do you care? Will you stay? Can I trust you?" Instead, they will vanish for a time, retreat into silence, or withdraw their warmth just slightly. And in that space, they watch. Who reaches out? Who notices? Who waits? Who fades? Who betrays? They don't play this game for cruelty. It is their way of protecting their spirit. If you survive the test, you earn their unshakable loyalty. If you fail, you may never even know you've been erased from the inner circle of their trust. And then comes the ninth secret: they crave freedom, yet long for one unbreakable bond. Aquarius insists on independence, and yes, they will fight anyone who tries to cage them. But beneath the surface, they ache for something eternal, a love that is not possessive, but liberating, a partner or soul connection that allows them to fly without fear of falling, to be utterly themselves without apology. This paradox is the essence of their heart, desperate for freedom, but equally desperate for a tether that feels divine. When Saturn and Uranus clash in their chart, in their destiny, in their very spirit, Aquarius is tested. They are asked, will you bury your emotions beneath control, or will you let them break you open? Will you push everyone away to protect your freedom, or will you risk everything for one true bond? These cosmic forces are not accidents. They are the blueprint of their life path. And here is where the prophecy intensifies. For when the cosmic timing aligns, when Saturn's lessons have been endured, and Uranus's lightning has broken through the Aquarius destiny shifts, suddenly their silence makes sense. Their rebellion becomes admired. Their visions once mocked are proven true. This is the season of awakening, the moment where the very forces that once felt like a curse transform into power. Comment below, I trust the timing of my destiny, if you feel these cosmic forces stirring in your own life. But beware, when destiny arrives, it does not whisper. It sends signs too powerful to ignore. And those signs are already appearing. When destiny begins to move in Aquarius's life, it does not arrive quietly. It leaves evidence, patterns, synchronicities, signs that reveal their 15 secrets leaking into the open. These signs are subtle at first, but once you know how to see them, they cannot be ignored. The first is tied to the 10th secret. Aquarius doesn't fear change, they are change. When the prophecy begins unfolding, you will notice them growing restless, with routines pushing away outdated roles, shattering relationships or careers that no longer match their vibration. Others will think they are reckless, but in truth, they are simply aligning with the future. If Aquarius suddenly shifts direction, understand it's not a whim, it's destiny. The second sign emerges from the 11th secret. They carry the weight of outsidership. Suddenly they may withdraw, feeling like they do not belong anywhere. Old friendships feel shallow, family ties feel strained. Environments that once felt safe now feel foreign. This is not depression, it is initiation. Their spirit is being called out of the crowd, set apart for something greater. When you see Aquarius drifting from the familiar, it is the cosmos demanding they step into their true role as visionary. The third sign comes from the 12th secret. They protect their vulnerability with wit. Watch their humor closely. It is never random. When Aquarius starts joking more than usual, when sarcasm drips heavier than before, it often means they are shielding something sacred. They are laughing to cover heartbreak, joking to distract from prophecy, smiling while silently rebuilding themselves from ruin. If you notice this shift, you are witnessing them in the fragile stage between breakdown and rebirth. These three signs are not coincidences, they are markers of transformation. Aquarius begins to embody the secrets they once hid. Independence becomes rebellion. Outsidership becomes sacred separation. Wit becomes the blade that protects their softest heart. The prophecy is no longer hidden. It is leaking into daily life, visible to anyone awake enough to see. And yet these signs are only the opening cracks in the surface. The true reversal is still to come. The moment when Aquarius stops being misunderstood, when the very qualities used against them become their crown. When they step into the role destiny has always prepared for them. The signs are here, the prophecy is unfolding, and the turning point is closer than ever. The question is, what happens when Aquarius finally stops hiding? Aquarius has spent years, perhaps decades, walking through life as the misunderstood. Their independence misread as coldness, their vision dismissed as madness, their silence mistaken for distance. But destiny always promised a reversal, the season where what was once a wound becomes a weapon, where what was once rejected becomes revered. This awakening begins with the 13th secret. They are loyal beyond reason. For too long, this loyalty was their downfall. They gave pieces of themselves to people who took without giving, stood by those who abandoned them, defended others long after they stopped defending themselves. But here is where the reversal begins. Aquarius learns to redirect that loyalty inward. No longer bound to toxic attachments, no longer protecting those who betray, they turn the fierce blade of their devotion toward their own path. And when they do something extraordinary, happens the same loyalty that once drained them now fuels their rise. Then emerges the 14th secret. They secretly believe they're on a mission. For much of their life, they kept this hidden. They downplayed their sense of purpose, dismissing it as ego or fantasy. But deep down, they have always felt chosen for something bigger than themselves, something written into the stars. In the awakening, this secret no longer hides. Aquarius begins to move differently, speak differently, command attention without asking for it. People sense it, the shift in their aura, the certainty in their step, the unshakable fire in their voice. It is no longer about survival. It is about destiny. And here lies the great reversal. The very traits once criticized, aloofness, rebellion, eccentricity, are suddenly praised. What once alienated them now attracts others. The world that once mocked their vision now chases after it. The ones who abandoned them return in awe, realizing Aquarius was never behind. They were always ahead. This is the prophecy of reversal, roles, flipped truths, exposed masks, shattered. The rejected becomes the chosen. The misunderstood becomes the guide. The quietest voice becomes the thunder everyone must hear. But even in this rising, one final secret remains. A truth Aquarius has carried longer than any other. A truth so heavy, so haunting, it explains everything, and it cannot be avoided any longer. Because there is one secret that even Aquarius cannot outrun. And now, the final unveiling. The 15th secret. Aquarius fears their power, but they cannot escape it. This is the truth they carry like a double-edged sword. They sense their difference, their brilliance, their uncanny ability to see what others cannot. And yet this very gift has always been the source of exile, misunderstanding, and rejection. They fear the responsibility that comes with being ahead of their time. They fear the weight of voices that will lean on them for guidance. They fear the loneliness of leadership. And still the prophecy does not give them a choice. Power seeks them. Vision pursues them. Destiny insists on their fulfillment. Here is where all 15 secrets converge into one. The loneliness behind their independence becomes wisdom for the collective. Their love for humanity, but struggle with people, becomes their bridge between worlds. Their silence, once mistaken for coldness, becomes the thunder of prophecy breaking. Their rebellion transforms into divine justice. Their futuristic sight into undeniable truth. Their buried emotions into sacred empathy. Their testing of loyalty into unshakable discernment. Their craving for freedom and one bond into a model of love that liberates, not cages. Change is no longer something they chase. It becomes the essence of who they are. Outsidership no longer isolates them. It crowns them as the chosen visionary. Wit no longer shields weakness. It sharpens their wisdom into a blade that cuts through illusion. Loyalty, once misplaced, now builds kingdoms of trust. Their secret mission blooms into destiny revealed, and their fear of power is finally transfigured into the acceptance of it. This is Aquarius's fulfillment, to embody the paradox, to live as both human and myth, to break chains, not only for themselves, but for others. Their 15 secrets were never flaws, they were seeds. Seeds that sprouted in silence, grew in betrayal, blossomed in rebellion, and now bear fruit in destiny. And for those listening, not just Aquarius souls, but every spirit drawn to these words, this is your inheritance too. The prophecy of Aquarius is not just about one sign. It is a mirror reflecting back the parts of yourself you have hidden, the secrets you have carried, the power you have feared. Because Aquarius does not rise alone. When they step into destiny, they pull others with them. They awaken movements, revolutions, visions. They remind the world that freedom is sacred, that difference is divine, that truth cannot be silenced forever. So when you see them, when you see their eyes suddenly filled with fire, their silence breaking like a storm, their presence demanding attention, you will know the prophecy is no longer hidden. It is here. And once Aquarius fulfills their destiny, nothing will ever be the same again. Type, "My secrets are my destiny," in the comments if you claim the power of your own hidden truths. Because Aquarius is no longer afraid, and neither should you be.